All right, guys, we're gonna go through the assembly of the new Dungeons by Hand storage rack. So when you get all your pieces, they're gonna come with this. The first thing you're gonna wanna do is separate out all these small pieces. We'll put those aside. Then you should be left with basically the back and the sides of the box itself. I myself am going to be using some Titebond 3 wood glue and just some packaging tape to help hold the corners. The first thing you're going to want to do is take the bottom here and the back and just put them together. Do kind of a test fit and take one of the sides and set it together just like this. And I try to do it so that all the shiny sides are facing in, but you're welcome to take the side here because you'll see it's kind of got a shimmery side and then it's got a regular wood side, and you can make it be the outside as well. So once you kind of do this here, I like to set it up on its side because then we can get ready to basically glue this edge. And so you're just going to take your glue and you're just going to put it on all the edges like this, just a little bit on each point. If you'd like, you could put it on this piece too, but this should be more than enough to hold it together. What I like to do is just kind of set it on here. You get a little bit of excess glue, you can kind of wipe that off with your hand. And then this is where the packaging tape comes in. Basically, you just take a piece and stick it on here, pull it tight and wrap it around the edge. And that will keep that corner nice and tight so that it doesn't come apart while it's gluing. Now I do the same for the bottom. And it doesn't matter, you know, you'll see here when I show you this edge, there's a little excess glue there. That won't matter in the end. If it gets too much, you can scrape it off, but usually it'll just dry clear. And you'll want to just tape it like so. Okay, so once you've done that, you're gonna take off this end, and this is where it gets a little tricky because that corner is still held. You're gonna pull this one apart here, kind of like this, and you're gonna get your wood glue, and you're basically just gonna put some right on here, just like this, right on this edge. Okay, just like that. And then you do the same thing. You just put this back together, and you'll see it's just a little bit gappy there, but I kind of wipe off the glue, and I go get the handy tape, and you'll see here as you put it on, it will just pull it kind of tight. And you put it here and you squeeze that together, pull it tight and put it down. And now you'll see in these things, there's no longer a gap. And then once you kind of wipe it like that, then you take your last side, just test fit it here again. Okay, now that it's test fit, we just put some glue on here, just like this. Then set it on. And again, just wipe the excess off. You can use a paper towel. I just happen to have a workbench that I don't mind getting some glue on, so I just wipe it on there. Get your handy dandy piece of tape, and you tape the edges just like this. Just like that. And tape's pretty cheap, so I don't mind putting a lot more on all the different corners just to keep it nice and tight and very clean. And so now that you have that glued together, you'll see there's just a little bit of glue in here. And that's where you can take a paper towel or your finger. My fingers are kind of big, so they don't fit in there very well. So I take a paper towel and I just kind of wipe it out of there like that. And this will be also where if you have any excessively large gaps or anything like that where something isn't held together, you'll be able to see it. And you can come back in here and you can put another piece of tape to kind of hold it together while it dries. And for your more advanced users, you could use clamps or things like that. But now that we have kind of that part together, I'm just gonna lay it kind of on its back, and we're gonna go through these little pieces. We'll set this aside for just a second. You'll see there's basically 6 pieces, or not 6, but yep, 6. And so basically look for the ones that have the smaller shape. And the easiest way to do that is if you just lay these 2 over each other, you'll see that the smaller shape is below the bigger shape. So you got that one, you've got this one here, and then you've got this one, just like this. And so what I always do is I try to just make the points go up. It doesn't really matter, but that's just how I like it. And so now that you have these sort of set into 3 sets, just kind of set them aside. Bring this box back, and this is where you're going to want to start at the very top. And the one at the top is going to have this slot in it, which will be holding your guide. What I like to do for this is I put a little glue here on either side, just like you would with all the other joints. But on here, just because it's a 2 stack, I like to just kind of put it on the side as well here, inside here. And then you just kind of put it in here. It's going to get a little kind of messy with the glue, but again, you just wipe it off nice and clean. And you can always come back right at the end too, and that's a good time to wipe as well. And what you'll do is you just take your handy dandy tape, just put it on here and make sure it's on there tight. Put it on just like that. And so that's nice and tight. And so you'll just kind of go down the line to the next one, which will be this one. Again, I try to put this point up. It just looks more symmetric to me in the end. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. It'll hold with whatever you do. So we put the glue on the edges. Again, put it on the side of the parts. And then you just kind of put it right in there. I always like to set one in so that it hugs that one side, and then just set this one down, wipe the excess glue off. And then again, just get our tape, tape it on there. Okay, and then the very last one. So the last one, the important part is these kind of fork shapes here, which would be for the Circle Jig Deluxe. You want those pointing upwardly, and it'll go right across the bottom here. So just put the glue on. Okay, and we'll put it on here. Again, there's a little excess glue. Just kind of wipe it off. Okay, we get our tape. Put that on. All right, so now we've got all the joints taped on here and all of them glued. So this is the time where you can kind of go back and just take a quick look to see if anything looks like it's kind of come apart. You know, so like right here, it looks just a little bit loose. If you wanted all your joints really, really tight, you can just add an extra piece of tape. You know, maybe the top corner here looks a little loose. You know, we could just, you know, just add a little bit there. And now we just let it dry. So we'll come back after it's dry. All right, everyone, now that you got your storage rack here all glued together, basically you're just gonna take it and load it on up. So we got our Circle Jig Deluxe here, goes right on in. Put the guide in there. Then we're just gonna take and we're gonna set all of our different shapes right on in. So we do that real quick. Just stick those in. As you can see, each piece just slides in perfectly right on in there. And then, as you see, you got the whole set here all put together. You can see everything fits in very nice. Oh, actually, I almost forgot one part. It even fits all of these pieces of wood here for the different little shapes to fit in. Just fit right on down here. And you'll see it fits right in perfectly. And if there's any shape that you want, you just put your hand in here and pop it out. It's good to go. No longer do you need to worry about them being all over the counter. So, all set up. Happy crafting.